everybody. I feel like I'm revisiting my first video because the first video I ever made was about being a sensitive person in this world and how the world really needs our sensitivity right now. And that's coming back to me more and more these days. I feel like in these times, if you're a sensitive person, if you're neurodivergent, there's a whole lot of things going on right now that are very triggering and very re-traumatizing. It's very hard to deal with everything that's going on, everything that you're hearing and seeing. And I also feel like, at least I can only speak for myself, but I feel very unheard. Like, I feel like I'm saying, this is what's happening, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, cool, have a nice day. Everyone's going about their lives while the world is on fire. And that's also very invalidating, which has been huge trauma throughout my life, because I feel like I've always been told that what I saw and what I thought and what I felt was not real, because there was so much pressure to just kind of keep pushing on. And everyone around me seemed to be able to like go into robot mode and not have emotions and not like need to process things and deal with things. I had a couple of hard things happen like super early in life, right after birth, with family illness of one of my primary caretaker, my mom. And that was like immediately after my birth. And then we lost her mother, my grandmother, obviously, before my third birthday. And she apparently had a long battle with cancer. And I don't remember her at all, but I've talked to other people in my family who are a little bit older, and they talked about like the smell of death in the house where she lived, or the smell of illness. I believe, I forget which word the person used, but like, and at the time everyone was just like, okay, time to go to school, time to go to do this, like soccer practice, whatever. Like, you were just supposed to just like keep going on. My mom was kind of in and out of the hospital when I was in elementary school, and I remember being terrified, and I don't remember anyone holding my hand and saying, oh, your mom's gonna be okay. This is just a minor, well, it didn't end up being a minor illness. For other people, it's not as, it doesn't affect them as much, but she had like a really, really severe case. But I don't remember anyone ever reassuring me. And my mom was like my person. From the time I was born until she passed, like, she was my person, besides my kid, who there was a little overlap. So these times right now are just feeling very heavy, and I feel like it's important for those of us who are sensitive. The very first thing that we can do is to try to like go into ourselves and try to keep ourselves together and try to like speak nicely to yourself. I feel like, especially like those of us who are sensitive and neurodivergent and different, I feel like we can be really hard on ourselves because we can't do all the things that everyone else does, and we don't feel like we measure up, and we feel like we should be further in life, and we feel like sometimes life is hard for us, so we can put in as much or more effort than the next person and get nowhere near as far. I often feel like I'm the turtle in the hare, that fable. I feel like the turtle because I'm like trying to catch up with everyone else, but everyone's light years ahead. So first, talk very nicely to yourself. Find a way to process your trauma, your emotions, your feelings. Try to find your way to work through things. For some people, it could be journaling, it could be artwork. I write music sometimes if I can. I listen to music. Find different ways that work for you, specifically if you have insurance or can afford it and therapy is something that you feel like would be good for you, then give that a try. There's other traditional methods. I've heard a lot lately about EMDR, but I have never done it myself. But I did learn years ago through a social worker at a rape crisis center about tapping, or EFT, emotional freedom technique. And it's made for people with trauma. It's a way to release the emotions around the trauma. And you look kind of silly doing it, so I wouldn't advise you walking down a busy street doing it unless you want to freak people out, and then, hey, whatever floats your boat. But it involves tapping different acupressure points and repeating a mantra over and over. So the mantra is something like, even though I'm feeling, and then you fill in whatever. So even though I'm feeling depressed, I love and accept myself completely and deeply. If you Google, or if you go into YouTube and you plug in tapping for, and then whatever it is that you can use it for physical pain as well. I guess I've never done that for physical pain myself, but I have done it for when I've been really bad off emotionally, crying my eyes out, not wanting to go on. I've done that, and it has immediately made me feel better. So I would highly recommend looking up tapping or EFT for whatever the heck you're going through. So those are things that most of us can probably do, because I know especially for sensitive neurodivergent people, it can be hard to connect with others. And, sometimes connecting with others can end up making us feel worse, because human beings are not always the most sensitive creatures on earth, especially these days. So the other thing that I'm trying to do, and that maybe some of you might want to try to do, is I'm actually trying to seek out other people who are similar to me. And if you have any ideas on how to do this, because I have no idea how to find other weirdos like me, I've tried everything. I found some weirdos, but not necessarily the good kind. But so I'm looking for other open-minded, leftist, neurotypical, sensitive people who actually listen and accept and understand others. Well, I've reconnected with a couple old friends, and one of those old friends' family members and whole crew, and they're all cool. I have parts of my family that are awesome that I saw on the 4th of July. They seem to actually understand me and accept me. So that was really awesome. Tell us in the comments, how are you doing right now? Are you hanging on by a thread like some of us? Or are you finding ways to put one foot in front of the other and get by? Are you thriving? I really want to hear that some of you are thriving. And also, what are you doing? What are you trying? What are some things that you're finding helpful? What are some things you've tried that did not help? Share whatever your thoughts are in the comments. Thank you. I love you.